All right, everybody, welcome back to the Inhabit Mars channel. Jenny and I are here in Brattleboro, Vermont, and we're staying at the Holiday Inn Express this weekend, and we got to head back down to Pennsylvania. Tonight, we are going to look at a Gigapan by Neville Thompson. Um, this is the one that really intrigued me because there was lots of objects in here, and Jenny and I looked at this pretty close, and we had some other people look at these images and see if what we were seeing was what we were seeing. But this is the image. You can see it's from the Opportunity rover this time, and this is on Sol 4823, and this is by Neville Thompson. So thank you to Neville Thompson for creating this Gigapan. It's a beautiful Gigapan. Um, just want to show you, this is kind of what we talked about last week with the what we believe is either a man and his child or woman and his child, and we couldn't get enough detail to see whether it was a man or woman, but it's definitely a person with their child. All right, and before we get into the actual uh, Blender images, I just want to say I tried everything to, well, not everything, but I mean, I tried to model this and I am just not good at modeling people. Like I said, hard surface models, I'm really good, or at least decent. I don't want to say really good because there's people a lot better than me, but I'm pretty decent at doing hard surface modeling. But when it comes to people, I'm just going to have to download some base character meshes and work from there. So maybe if we do some more, because there's several images that seem to have people in it. I've been going through these Gigapans. I've been showing Jenny some, and I tell you what, there's probably about 4 or 5 from Neville Thompson that I've seen that look like it has people in them. And we're talking about live people. We're not talking about dead people or skeletons. And then there's maybe 4 or 5, and I'm pretty sure if I remember right, I saw a couple on Neal Spence's Gigapans also. And we're going to go into those, and so I'm definitely going to need to download some uh, base character meshes at least and work from there. But for tonight, I think what we did will show you pretty much what we're looking at here. And of course, we didn't have time to model everything in this image, but we did get a lot of it modeled. And you can see here from the snapshot that I took. What I did on this, of course, was I started with the image texture of the ground, and I separated the ground and the sky, and then I just, in GIMP, I used the clone brush and just cloned the sky until I had a full panel that I could bring into Blender. And so we'd have some sky in our background, and not just in the, it was about a little less than 1/4 of the image, I believe, that had sky in it. So I wanted to make sure we had plenty of sky in here so that it, gives it a more realistic feel. Now let's go back to this image here, and Jenny and I don't know why I did that, but anyway, Jenny and I talked about this, and in the green circled area last week, you mentioned that you thought these were people too or something. Why don't you tell people, and I will not interrupt her this time. I got chewed out for that.
Yes. Well, what I saw is,
Yeah, they can't see where you're pointing with that. Only when we do the Blender line.
well, okay, thank you for letting me know again.
Mm,
I keep forgetting.
in the green.
In the green circle, what I see is the mother and the child sitting on what now looks like something. Can't tell what it is. Looks like some kind of ledge, rock ledge, or ledge of rocks, however you guys want to put it. Either way, it looks like a woman and a child, and the child is trying to hand her something. That's what I see. It looks like she's wearing some kind of clothing. like a shirt or a skirt, a dress, and the boy looks like to be wearing long sleeve shirt and some pants. What I see.
Okay. All right. So let us go into Blender Live. I'm not gonna do too much more with images because as one of my buddies Mike pointed out, it is a lot easier and better to show you on the image itself. So what we're gonna do is let's go into Blender Live. All right, so here we go, and let's uh, let's start with that woman. In fact, so what I did was I created a panel. Hey, I told you I can't model people.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
tried. I actually modeled the woman or the man. Like I said, I can't tell which, and it looked, well, let's just say
Well,
it wasn't well enough for display.
let's say a
So
little kid drew it.
yeah, it looked like a little kid drew it. But just from scrolling out here, you can see we've got a lot of things to cover in this, and so that's why I don't want to go into taking snapshots and doing that. But you can just see there's a lot of stuff in here. So I'm going to start with the adult and their child, and like I say, it's hard to tell, but you know, whether it's a woman or a man, but you can see that here's the chest area right here, and you can see a shoulder. Okay, there's the shoulder, and there's the arm coming down, and their hand is actually as if it was on the ground, you know, and sitting like this, like to prop herself or himself up. Um, these two look pretty skinny, almost like they're emaciated. You can pretty much see the rib cage through here. If we could get more detail out of the image, you would probably see it a lot better. And then this is the child here, and he's standing with long pants on, and like Jenny said, he may have a shirt on. Once again, it was so hard to tell. We burned through this, we sharpened it up, and we even used the dodge tool to bring down some of these really light areas so we could get as much detail. And you can see that I couldn't tell if it's the child reaching back to the parent or the parent reaching up and holding the child. But the child almost looks like he is looking at the rover. And my thought was, well, he probably wants to go over and see what this thing is. But you can see that they're definitely in the image. And I'm going to go ahead and slide this out of the way like we talked about so we can see it on the image texture itself. And there you go. Well, let's move
Slide
this.
it back.
Yeah, let's slide it sideways. How about that?
There
We'll
you
just
go.
put it out of the way. And you can see them right there in the image. I'll back out a little bit so it's a little clearer. And there they are. I mean, they are definitely right there. What are they doing on Mars? Mars is not supposed to have anybody alive on it or anything alive,
Or so they
supposedly.
tell us.
Exactly. And I mean, you guys can see that, right? It's not pareidolia. It's not my imagination, because I've been told I have a pretty wild imagination. But let me go ahead and put them back. So there they are, and they're right there. And all I did was put a black border around them so that we could see them a little better. And then there was this object right here in front of them. And once again, let me move this out of the way. And you can see it. You know what? Yeah, I know I need to move it sideways. Sideways, sideways. There we go. All right, so you can see that in the image too. And once again, all I did was take the image texture from the Gigapan that Neville Thompson created, and I applied it to a mesh, and then I built up the mesh around it, creating the hills and everything else that you see from that. And so this thing looks like some sort of jug. Maybe you'd carry water in it, maybe something. Uh, I don't know. But that's what it looked like. And there's actually one more over here by the boat. When we get over to the boat, I'll show you that. The other thing, now Jenny noticed this, and this was pretty cool. At first I thought it was a bell, but she even said it, this thing looks like some sort of light post. And it had this kind of brass color to it, and this white bulb on the end. And then you can kind of see the black stem, and I'm going to move it here in a second. And then you can see the pole that it stands on. So it's either a bell or a light, and I'm starting to side with her that that might be a light. So let's move that out of the way. And now I'm going to have to rotate up so you can see it. Ugh, still kind of blurry, huh?
Yeah.
And I don't understand why images in the foreground are blurry when the stuff in the back has the same blurriness. Maybe somebody else can figure that out, but images in the front, or objects in the front of the image, should be really clear. But you can see that bell structure right there. You can see how it goes up, and you barely see it. There's where that pole comes out of the top, comes back around the back, and then it kind of has this little like S curve to it, and then it comes down, and you just see at the bottom where it widens out. Let me zoom in a little bit, and then maybe a piece where it would stick into something concrete or something like that. And then we get to these objects over here. Make sure I put that object back. Okay, we'll just start from the left and work our way right. Now this first one, and because I put these on a hill, I had to move them just in front of where they are on the image itself. Let me go back to global here so it moves in the proper directions, and then I can put it back in the proper direction. Okay, so the first one is this object here. All right, you can see it here in the image, and there's actually an object in front of it, but you couldn't get enough detail to see what it was. And once again, this entire image, I burned through the entire image trying to bring out everything. So to me, what this looks like is kind of like a desk laying on its side. All right, and it has this shape. We'll get in a little closer. And yeah.
Those look like they could be desk legs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you turned it this way, you'd see that would be the top of the desk, and then maybe some drawers right here, maybe some thinner drawers like filing cabinet type drawers here.
And those white ones right there that they're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
those white lines, maybe those could be legs.
Well, I'm not sure because this is where the desk ends, see? But there's an object in it, and I could not bring that out. And that was using the burn tool, and still couldn't bring it out. But that's what that one looks like. And like I said, I don't know. The only thing I could figure was a desk laying on its side. And then the next thing was this thing. I have no idea what this is, but just so you don't think I'm making it up. There it is right there. That's it. Let me just scroll out. And I don't think I got it exactly right. In fact, I forgot to extrude out the top. Thought I did that. But it's dark in the middle. Okay, I gotta hide the desk. It's in the way. There we go. All right. And so it's got that opening either way, and you can see that right here in the image. It's really dark in there, and it might have a piece sticking up right here. I'm not sure. Once again, even in the Gigapan image, it was hard to bring that out, but that's what that one looked like. And by the way, you can see another one of the little jugs right here. I should have modeled that, but once again, just run out of time. And another jug right here. These look like jugs. All right, and then we have...
Hang on to cut you off, but what's that right there? Not that one right there.
It's a little square thing. I just didn't have time to model that one because these objects over here took a lot of time. And I actually have one of those modeled. I think I do. I think it's over by the ship.
Alright.
Now, okay, there we go. Now we come to this. Now this is very interesting. I'm not sure if this is one object or two objects side by side, but I modeled it either way as one object. I'm just going to move those to the behind it. And here they are. And you can see they're right there. This thing has these walls that come up and this kind of round center with this dark part here, and then it looks like fins coming out the side, and it even has this thing coming up like an antenna or a point or something on it. So we went ahead and modeled that, and this is what we came up with here. And
We have no idea what it is.
yeah, I have no idea what this thing would be. It was gray in this area. The top was gray. The walls were white. And we spent some time trying to figure that one out. That was really interesting to me.
He
Right.
kept asking for my opinion. I kept on. I have no idea.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it was like, what is it? What in the world could that be? And keep in mind, we're not looking at Earth, we're looking at Mars. But what do they use these things for, you know? And so the next one over, which actually I think this is going to be in the way of it. No, that's it right there. All right, is right there. And if I get the angle right, you should be able to see that pretty well. But this is kind of what that object looks like. And it's got a pointed top to it also. It's really hard to see. I think they kind of ghosted that out for us. But I don't think it's a rock. I can tell you that. I don't think it's swamp gas either.
No.
But anyway, this is what that object looks like. And we had some fun modeling these because they're just so intricate, and it took a little time to get some of these done. And I'm going a little bit fast tonight because I know my videos run long, and I hate to look at the time right now. But okay, this was one of my favorite things to model. This took me a long while to get this thing right. So I'm going to show you what it looks like first. Yeah, we'll move it that way. Alright, you gotta get out of the way. You're still in my way. And you got to come out of the way. Okay, we'll just go down with you. Alright. Now, how do I get the best orientation to see it? Let's get the lighting different. Oh, it's going to be hard to see no matter what I do. There we go. That's about right. Okay. And this guy's in the way. Boy, I'm going to be moving a lot. Hopefully they'll all move back. All right, there we go. So you can see it's got these round cylinder type things. Looks like 3 on the top, and you can barely see them, but they're there on the bottom too. And these are in the image. Like I say, this is the image from the Gigapan. And then it seems to have this thing right here, which is darker. It goes up and down. And then it has these little pieces that come out the side and curve around. All right, and then there may be 2 more. I was on the fence about whether that was 2 more sticking there, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't model them. But this is what this object looks like. All right, we'll take a good turn around this because this took some time to model it. And I'm not sure about the back, obviously. That's just an extrapolation based on the rest of the model. But the front looked like this. I don't know what this would be. I told her, I said, it looks like a big boom box or something because, and these might be their music symbols. Go ahead, babe.
Well, I was thinking, as everybody knows, the AirPods. What you think those music symbols are? If you just look at them in front and not from an angle, that's what they look like.
Right.
See?
They'd be some big AirPods because
I
they're
know.
at least as big as the people are here.
Oh, I know.
So I don't know what that thing is, but that's the shape it has, and it's right there in the image.
Well,
There
if
you
that's a
go.
boombox, goddamn.
That's gonna put out some sound for the whole planet. So I don't know. Like I say, that's just well, that's the shape it has, and I was just curious, what in the world could it be, you know? And then in front of that, and I don't know if it's part of the same object, was this thing. All
It's
right.
so tiny.
Yep. And it was sitting in front of it. Let's bring it down. And all of these things seem to have these little antennas or something on them. Almost all of these objects had that. That one had it. This one had it. This one had it. And this, we'll get to that in a minute. And then right next to this boom box, I don't know what to call it, was this thing. And you see it right there. That's right there in the image. It's there. And it's actually right up next to this thing. And so it could be part of the same object. I'm not sure, but it also has one of these curved pieces like this. So let's take a look. All right. And then it had like these spokes going around it. And you can see those right there. Probably shouldn't have moved it yet. But you can see those spokes going around, and on one of these, at least in the original image, I could see at least on one of them, and it almost looked like it on the second one, was those pieces like that. And then there is the last piece we'll look at on this side. No, I'm sorry, we got the one behind us over there. I'm just going to move you. I better not move you that way. Let's go this way. Okay. And of course, it's going to be in the way at the angle we need to look at. But there's that object right here. And it seems to have these square walls. And then it's got one of these things that looks like a missile coming up. And this is what that object looks like.
You know, from the side, it looks like a chair.
It kind of does. Yeah, it has the shape of a chair, but that would hurt like hell to sit on that.
You'll
So,
probably be hurting for days.
yeah, I don't know what to make of that either. A lot of these objects I don't. And I got done modeling this side, and thought I was done, and then out of the blue, I noticed this thing.
Oh.
Let's see, what angle are you going to see it at best?
Try downwards.
Probably should go back to the original image for this one.
Do you have it up?
Yeah, but I don't have the zoomed in, do I? No, because I just brought in the other one. But you can see it. See that oval shape to it?
Yeah.
And then it might have 8 legs. I know it's got objects behind it, but I couldn't bring out enough detail to see. But it has at least 6 legs. And I wasn't sure if these were legs in front, and these were more legs behind, but I knew I could see, either way I saw at least 6 legs. And this is what I modeled it as here. Bring it up out of the dirt. Okay. And that's what it looked like. It kind of had a metallic shine to it, dirty metallic, but it was metallic. And I could not tell if these were wheels down here or these were some sort of stands. So, and I don't know what it is, and I'm not sure if these, like I say, were wheels or that was the post to go into the ground. But it's there. I had to find it. There we go. I was going to say, I know it's there. I didn't imagine it. And there was something behind it. It looks like posts or something. But I wasn't real sure. It seemed to have one arch here and then one arch over top of it. And I wasn't sure what that would be either. and the orientation of this is slightly different than that, so I don't think they're linked together. And then of course you can see more objects here that actually, that looks like, see, it's got that missile looking thing in the middle.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. That looks like you.
Another one?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. From that angle, it does look like it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But there it is. There's another one. And this one actually has more detail. I can't believe I missed that. But see, it kind of has that missile shape to it. And in the middle, and then it, like Jenny said, it looks like a chair surrounding it. It'd be a very uncomfortable chair.
Like I said, your butt would be hurting for days.
Yeah. Now let's get over to this object here. I know people are going to say, all you see is ships. Well, when you see something like this, and you look at the picture from different angles, and one thing that you can do to really see these images is, I think Chris mentioned this in one of his videos, rotate the images. You can either go 90 degrees at a time until you can kind of see, and the good thing about bringing it in a 3D is you can kind of rotate around the image in different perspectives, especially once you apply it to your mesh. And when you do, you start to bring out things that you wouldn't normally see. But this, to me, looked like a ship. It's some sort of steamship or something. And if it is, this is probably the paddle wheel over here. And we'll get to that, although it seems like a small paddle wheel. But you can see the middle portion of this. Actually, you can see it standing up. And some of these things on here are casting a shadow behind it. Because at the time this image was taken for the Gigapan, the sun was over here and casting its shadow this way. When we were over here, I believe the sun was the opposite direction, because your shadows are behind these objects over here. So the sun in these part of the images, and you have to remember how Gigapans are made. The rover is traversing along very slowly, and it's taking images along the way. Okay, so some of the images, some of the Gigapans, the sun might be in a similar position because it's going to take a panoramic view, and it's just going to go basically in a circle and take the images, or at least a partial circle. And then on these other images, it's just traversing along and taking pictures. So as you see over here, your shadows are coming behind these objects. All right. And then by the time the rover got over here and took the images, the sun was up over here somewhere. All right. So you can see that the shadows are going this way now. All right. So don't let that confuse you. But this is what this boat looks like. If it is a boat. And it's got a lot of wood missing. Oh, shoot. I forgot to attach my plank to it. Oh, well, when we go back over there, the plank, there's a plank right here on that image.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing at.
Oh, yeah, I left it in the air.
See?
There it is right there. I'll get to that. But that plank is actually right there. There's that plank, and there's that piece coming off. And because of the way I had to model the hill, this side actually would be up flush with the rest of this deck. But to be able to model this hill correctly, I had to actually stretch the UVs around over the top of the hill. So don't let that fool you. But that side is actually flush with this side. It's going up at an angle like this. This boat is sitting like that. All right. And so let's go over to the boat now. Let's take a look. So we got some things on this part that sticks up. All right. And this is about in the almost dead center of the boat. And the first thing was this piece here. All right. And it's got a ring around it. It's got kind of a square base. And then it has this like mushroom shaped top to it. And that's right here in that image. Oops. No, I just needed a better angle. And that's right there. Can you see that? You see it, right, Darna?
A little bit.
Right there, it's that highlighted part. See the sun,
Oh, I
and
see
that's
where you're
it.
pointing at.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little stretched.
Yeah. Oh, I can click on that and rotate around that.
Excuse me, sorry.
Bless you. But see, that's right on top of that piece right there. And the next one over is this piece here. I'm not sure what that thing is, but it seemed to have a square shape to it. And then it had a thinner middle section, and then another square shape that was kind of bent. And I'll give you an idea what that looks like there. That's what that looked like. And then the last part was this thing right here. And oh, I keep clicking them. I made them into one object. And it looks like it has this rusty pipe that's sticking out of it. And we'll go back to the image. And then it was on either a wood base or something. And all these things were right on top of this boat. And by the way, the other reason I believe it's a boat is the back end was curved around like this. So that's what that boat looked like. And then there was this ring portion here, and it didn't seem like this top part was level. And I'll go back over there, don't worry. So it looks like this top side is higher up. In fact, at first, when Anna, it's actually Jenny's mom, but she's one of the people that help us go through these images. She looked at it from the angle. It looked like a person with two arms coming down and two legs, and I'll show you what that kind of looks like, what she was looking at. And at first I thought, well, yeah, maybe that's a person sitting there. Okay, can you see that right there? Let's turn it, and that's about the angle you'd see it in the Gigapan. And you see how there's an object behind it, and I couldn't tell what that was. But that's what she was saying. It looks like a head, two
Yeah.
arms, and then two legs. Well, when you get up close to it, it looks more like this is a box that goes around it, and I could be wrong. And this is a circular part in the middle. I'm not sure that this is a person, and he'd be sitting at a pretty tough angle if he was sitting on top of this boat. And on top of that, he would be bigger than this woman or man with the child over here. So all of that together, I don't think that's a person. I thought more of it was a part of the structure of this boat, and plus that piece is sitting on a platform that's actually raised up. Okay, so I don't think it's a person. I think that is probably pretty accurate to what it was. And of course, as you know, we're just guessing here. We're taking the images and we're trying to model what we see, and not try to interpret too much as we model, and wait till we get done modeling, then try to interpret it. But sometimes you got to make an interpretation while you're modeling, so it gives you some direction on how to model it. And so that's what wound up happening there, is I had to make a decision on that. Am I going to model it like a person and think as a person, or am I going to go and with the theory that it's on a platform? And this platform, by the way, sticks out a little bit farther than that one. So what do you think it is, darling? If I show you this image right here, I mean, give me your opinion. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, it could be.
Well, like my mom told you, to me it actually does look like a person standing there. But like you said, that'd be a really difficult angle.
Yeah, what she was saying was it looks like he's sitting, see, with his knees up. and this would be the head, shoulders, arms, and see the legs coming through the between his arms.
Well, what I thought was that was the head
Yeah,
right
that's the
there.
head.
And then right there is the shoulder. Right there is the shoulder.
Right.
That's the arm right here.
On the
And
outer.
that's the arm.
Yep.
And those two right there would be the legs down there.
Well, see, that's a platform. I can tell that because it's parallel to that.
This, like I was saying, looks like an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Can't tell where the hand is. Maybe right there it does have a hand. And then right there was one leg. And then there's another leg. And then there's the arm. And obviously the head and the shoulders. And some kind of tank top shirt.
And it could be, but the in my defense, I can't model people, so it was easier to model a boat part. But either way, what I don't know, guys. I don't know if that is a person sitting there. Maybe he was getting ready to jump. Maybe he was up here climbing around. He was going to jump down to this next level because, like I say, it's sitting at a pretty harsh angle. So for him to be sitting right there, let's see if you can you see that angle? Well, I don't know. It was dark in the middle. I guess he could jump to here and then jump to the ground. I don't know. Let me put it back so you can see the there we go. The plank. Since I modeled the plank.
While you're there,
And I meant to join it. Yeah, I probably should. There you go. Control J to join. Now it's in there. All right. So there was this plank sticking over, and so I modeled that and put it in there. All right. So there was that, and then so that's it for the boat. Now let's go down here. And this is what some people thought was maybe a little statue or something. But when I burned through it, it has this shape to it. As you can see, this part here sticks out, and then it kind of runs along the ground here, and it comes up, and then like that. So I tried everything to get that right. This part should probably have come down more, but I don't think it's a statue, and but then again, it could be. I mean, it's once again, I just tried to model a shape. I thought it was another one of those jugs like over here. That's what I thought, and so that's what I kind of modeled it as. Where are you? Yeah, right there. I just kind of modeled it like the other jug. And I meant to change it up, and I never got back to it. I forgot. Okay, this piece. Now, guys, I'm going to show you two pieces that to me look like furniture. Hey, just click on the one. There we go. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. Okay, so we have this here. Let's see if we can get our angle a little better, so you can see it. There we go. This kind of had the look of like a couch or love seat or something, with something in there, maybe a person sitting there, maybe some sort of object sitting on it, and but you can see the parts that come up, and you can see the back is kind of rounded, and there is something sitting on it. So I thought maybe it was something like this. All right, and this is, oh, let me just put it back so we can, oh wow, I never took it out of the dirt. Okay, let's bring you up. Okay, so it kind of has this shape to it. It's still in the dirt. Oh well. That's what happens when you get tired and you're driving all day and then you're modeling at night when you get done driving. But it kind of has this shape to it. Let me bring you up. It's irritating that it's sitting in the dirt. There we go. All right, and that's kind of the shape it had. And just in case I'm wrong, which I could be about that one, there was one more right here. All right. Let's move you over. I think my boat is blocking the light. Okay, I got a movie boat. No, it's getting light, but it's right here.
It's just hard to see.
Let's see if we can get a good angle on it. And this one's a little, it's not as wide as the other one, so this might be a single seat, but this is kind of what it looks like. Let's bring you out of the dirt. All right. So that's what that looks like. And then this piece right here, just in case I haven't gone crazy enough imagining stuff, there you go. You can barely see the ring going around. Oops. You can barely see the ring going around, and it kind of has this post in the middle, and then it has spars that come off of it. One here and one here. And I don't even know what to make of that thing. But that's all I could see of it. And it might be broken over here, in fact, in like a V shape. It does kind of look like that. Let me see if I can show you in the image here. See that? It's got this kind of V-shaped broken part. You can see that post. But it still looks like that lighter part, it's either the sun hitting it or a spar coming this way, and it almost looks like a spar that way. See that? Just barely see it. So what to make of that, I don't know. And then there were more objects back here, but once again, I could be modeling this for months. All right, and here back here, there's more strange shaped objects with those cylinders, it looks like. There's some depth to those. This looks like another rocket sticking up. You know, it's everywhere in this image. And by the way, right next to this boat look like framework or something. I don't even, pipes, framework. You can see that in there. And there's all these little pieces or something. And I don't know what to make of that either. This was really interesting finding this. And like I said, this was Opportunity. First of all, remember it was Opportunity Rover, and this was Sol 4823. And let's wave goodbye to our people. I mean, why are they just sitting there? I don't know. One thing that intrigued me was all these objects seem to be in a straight line. And I thought, well, are they like, maybe they're like scavengers. And after whatever disaster hit Mars, maybe they go and scavenge stuff. And then this, you know, the rover's traveling down a pretty smooth pathway. Can you see that in the front? This is the smoothest part of this whole image, except maybe back in the background. You know, that looked like a valley behind it. But don't go by the textures and stuff I have back here. All I did was clone the texture and put it there. I don't know what it really looked like, but I know it dropped down. And I thought, well, maybe this was a roadway and they're sitting beside the roadway. But I don't know. It seems like they're just sitting there waiting for someone. Well, they're just curious and watching the rover go by. If those are people. And did I mention a part? Her left leg is actually coming underneath the sun right here. See where it comes out the other side of him? There's her left leg, and here's where the leg comes almost straight out and then down, like she's got it, you know, curled underneath her or him. And
Well, see, the reason why I think it's a female is because it looks like that white part right there. Yeah, that
yeah, as a
looks like,
dress.
no, it looks like some kind of skirt.
Oh, that's what I meant, skirt.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it could be. I mean, I can't tell. I can't get enough
detail.
detail to see, but I can get enough to see that they look like people.
Yeah.
That's not a rock.
Call us crazy,
Yeah.
but they are not
And we
rocks.
had several people look at this. Even was it Mike who looked at it? I think that messaged me back said, "Yep, those look like people."
Mike, William.
William said it. Yeah. So guys, I don't know. All right. That's about what I have for this one. Um, Next week we are going to look at uh, a Gigapan by Neal Spence. I just looked at the time. Gosh, 43 minutes again. I thought I was saving time.
Nice try.
Yeah. Uh, and this is the Gigapan. This is the one that Chris was talking about in his last video, and I'll put a link to his video. Did I put it on here? No, I didn't.
Whoops.
Okay. All right, so I'll put a link to Chris's video on here, and this is the Neal Spence Gigapan that he was talking about. I said last week. It's actually what, a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah, you're
It's
behind.
taking a little longer to model since I'm working again, and we're going to go over this. There's some interesting objects in here. While I was doing that, I actually found this, and this is Sol 173, by the way. You can see TerraForm Mars, and I'll definitely put a link to Neal Spence's page. But I also found that Neville Thompson had done the same Gigapan, but he went from Sol 173 to 184 and actually got the left side of the image too. And then just today, right before I was getting ready to do this, I realized that, hey, the Rover had also been here. Oh, I didn't get it in the image, but this is Sol 170, and this is the same area over here. This part to the right is all the same area, and this was taken, I believe, in the morning time. It's either late evening or early morning time. So we get a different perspective um, on the same area, which is good for modeling because I can see stuff in a little bit different perspective and shadows change and stuff like that. So it's going to help us model that. So we have three different images that we can use. We have Neal Spence's, which is where I started, and he got this cleaned up pretty well. And just real quick, I know I'm taking forever. Um, Let me show you what I worked on. Oops. So far. And this is what I did, and I borrowed our sky texture from our this video in fact. But since I have that Gigapan by Neville Thompson on Sol 170, I'll just take and I'm going to replace this sky texture with the actual sky texture from the image. So what you can see here is I started modeling the terrain, kind of lifted up these rocks and stuff. And that object that Chris was talking about, that I swear, and I think Jenny said the same thing, looks like a hammer, is actually right here. And you won't be able to see it real well in the image. And I've got some cropped images of it so that we can look at it. But we swear it looks like a head of a ball peen hammer sticking out of that rock right there. All right, and that's right there, but there's obviously a lot more stuff in this. And I just started with this one. And of course there's that object there. I don't know if that's a rock or not. I'm sure NASA will let us know that it's a rock if we ask them. But the other thing I want to show you real quick before we go is this right here. Now, you can say that's a rock and that's fine. But this is something like a blade to a fan, a wooden blade, and it's actually mud encrusted. And I saw that and then that's why I brought in that other Neville Thompson Gigapan also, because both Neal Spence and Neville Thompson have this in there, and that thing has the shape of a blade, like it's been broken off or something right here, like it would go to a fan, or maybe it's part of a prop for a plane. And so I went ahead and just started modeling that, and that's what I got so far. It's still rough, needs some work, but I just started on it. And there we go, and it's mud encrusted, like I said. And then there's of course more objects in this, but and this is of course the turret arm of the rover right here. And I made sure to emphasize turret. I saw some of the comments on Chris's video that kept thinking he said a turd arm. And I'm sorry, I had to laugh. Yes, he has an accent, and it's a wonderful northeastern West Virginia accent. So, but he was saying turret arm, and I remember I saw a couple of comments. I kept thinking, what is a turd arm? But no, it's the turret arm from the rover. All right, so we got that for next. I keep saying next week for next video. All right, my video went long enough. I didn't mean to do that. So you guys have yourselves a good evening, and hope you enjoy the video. And please, give it a like, a share, and
Like, comment, share, and if you like it,
subscribe.
there'll be more.
All right, thank y'all very much.